My name is Sister Amelia Strenger. I've been an Ursuline sister now for 53 years. What I really appreciate about Western Kentucky and its whole area is the fact that we have some of the most fertile land in all of Kentucky. As I traveled around our part of the diocese when I was superintendent, I saw all of the wonderful fields, the crops, the wheat, the corn, the oats, and all of the other things that were growing at that time. And it almost was a meditation driving through the land to see all of the things that were going on. And so that is really a wonderful way for me to thank God for the land that we have. Some of the other things, as far as farming is concerned, have worked with farmers who are doing regenerative farming, which is looking at the soil and building the soil rather than taking from the soil. And so that's really a remarkable way of looking at things. And there are areas, land between the lakes, and all of those different places that just show the beauty of our earth. And it all goes back to taking care of it and being good stewards. So that's what I think about when I look at the aspects of Western Kentucky and how we relate to our common home. I look around us and I see some of the most important things that we have that sometimes we overlook some of the smallest things. I have a garden, and well, it's part of our land there, and we have several gardens, but I have the opportunity to work with one that we built 25 years ago, and it has the names of many, many people there who are praying for us and who we pray for. And when I'm out there and when I'm working in the garden, I just feel that God is right there with me. It's a quiet time. It's like music is in the air because you hear the bees and the birds singing, and we have a little neighbor dog who walks along the path and sometimes sits there and looks at me and wonders when I'm going to feed him. But it's those tiny things, that the bumblebees, the honeybees, that are so important and that give us such an opportunity to thank God for what we have. They are there, and sometimes we don't notice them. One of the roses in the garden is a rose I inherited from Bishop McGrath. He had it in his backyard, and whenever he died and they were giving things, I got the rose bush. And when I see that, I think of him, and I think of all of our leaders of our church, Bishop Medley and some of the other people. So these small things can remind us that God is there, and that those have gone before us have taken such good care of what we have. And so it's really important to remember and to take care of what we have today for those who are coming after us. When we talk about Catholic social teaching, we are looking at not just the earth, we're looking at how that earth takes care of so many people. You can't really talk about social justice, social teaching, without looking at the whole perspective. We have this earth and the land which takes care of so many people, the food that we grow and how we share it with other people. Those kinds of things are so important for us to remember. How we take care of the land, the ocean, the sky, what we're putting into the sky. It's so much a part of everything that we do when we're talking about social justice and social teaching. And that's the reason why the Pope's letter to us is so important. It is there for us to get more information so that we can do better in our living. We have a long way to go yet. I mean, when we look at how things are wasted, small things like that to help make a difference. Recycling, reusing things, making sure that we don't hurt the earth. Those are such important things for us to do. So when we're talking about social teaching and Eucharist, it's all a part of what God has given us to share. When I made my first communion, I was 7, and Sister Jean Gertrude was my teacher. She was wonderful, and I was able to learn so much from her. She taught us that Eucharist, she didn't call it Eucharist then, she called it communion, First Communion. Our First Communion was a time when Jesus would come to us as a gift, and that we were going to get a special gift because he was going to give us grace, and he was going to be with us, and he was always going to be a part of our lives. And I remember that now. I remember it always whenever I'm giving communion, whenever I'm receiving communion, that gift. And it all fits together with what we're talking about in our common home. Eucharist is a gift. Jesus is a gift. The land is a gift. And the Eucharist gives us the strength that we need to continue to take care of that land and that common home that is not just ours. It belongs to everybody. And everybody has the responsibility to take care of it, to be the good stewards of that land.